This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Good evening, everybody. It is DB94, but not Thursday. We're on a little bit early from the video side of things. If you're listening to the radio, you will probably hear us on Thursday night as usual. But Jeff wanted to go on early tonight because of Halloween and stuff. But he's not here yet. It's just us. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
And I imagine Jeff will join us shortly.
Super shortly.
I haven't heard anything yet. And just for giggles, I'm going to start the chat, and just in case anybody drops by. But it might just be us.
And we are boring.
I know. I mean, we had a...
I'm actually trying to finish up work here while we're talking.
Right. And you had to have a Halloween party kind of deal.
That I was desperately trying to keep going, like, on my own. It was like I'm all, let's make conversation! Asking questions in order to make conversation.
Nice. I think we've got Jeff dropping in here. There he is.
Sweet.
There he goes. Good gravy.
Hey, all right.
Hey.
Ah! I still haven't put on my jumpsuit yet, but it's okay.
Well, that's all right.
Good.
You might want to leave the camera off while you do that.
Yes, please.
Go to the side. Just jump to the side.
And there was too much Jeff. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was trying to offload pictures off my phone and my computer wasn't cooperating, so kind of a real bummer. Because I took pictures at like all the Nito events that we did this past weekend. And...
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think I did poorly at that sort of thing.
Taking pictures?
Yeah.
Well, you know, we were pretty busy, and it mostly like things like ELO and that kind of
I was
stuff.
supposed to be wearing a hat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, hat. Oh,
Hat.
it's okay.
As I
have a hat
said,
on
I
either.
was finishing up work as we went on the air, so I had almost enough time
Oh, jeez.
to do the things I was trying to get done.
There's a Jim Croce song in there somewhere.
Right. I've got if I could have time in a sippy cup.
Sippy cup.
Yeah. I could drive time in a sippy cup.
People who hide wine and alcohol in their various sippy cups at Disneyland. It's always kind of weird.
That is not me.
No?
I am not a hide the wine kind of a person.
That's funny.
My voice sounds like it today. I'm all husky. Hello.
Yes. Well, and we definitely had some breathing issues this week.
Oh my gosh, it
Really
has
tough.
been
Oh, yeah.
crazy. So we've done a whole bunch of stuff this week, but also my allergies have been so bad. The pollen count, I guess, went up really high, and I've been having
yeah.
asthma all week because my allergies are kicking it off.
Oh, boy.
So,
All right. Cool. I hope
is
that's
Jeff
not good, though.
in the
Yeah.
image and I just don't see him? Or
No,
is he not
no,
in the
Jeff
image?
hasn't turned his camera on yet.
Oh, right. He's changing his clothes.
Right.
I haven't?
Sorry.
No, you haven't.
Oh, I
It-
haven't changed anything.
It just says your name.
Hold on a minute. There we go. Good grief. I'm not awake today.
Hey, he made it.
Yeah.
All right. Here we
Yay,
Yeah.
Jeff.
go. Ooh.
So this past week,
There we go.
let's do before we get into the Halloween stuff, let's do the past week stuff. I had this really cool, because I'm dressed as a Ghostbuster, for those of you who are listening on sci-fi.radio. We're all dressed as Ghostbusters.
We are. We
Sean
all
and I
have
are dressed as
Ghostbusters stuff on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I will be in a moment. I just
I had a really cool background because the Halloween Zoom I was doing for work was supposed to be a Halloween party. We
Yeah.
were supposed to show up in costume, but the problem was that because we were waiting on a particular schedule to get settled, I didn't send the actual invite out for the party until a couple days ago. So a lot of the people didn't have most people didn't have costumes. But I felt like since I was the one who said we had to have not have to, but I was the one that said we should have costumes, I figured I should be in costume. So got this and then had it for you guys here. But I had a really cool background, but my hat disappears when the background is up.
Oh, that's too bad.
Which was a bummer because Sean sent me a photo of the Firehouse 8 that he took when we were in New York standing next to Firehouse 8. So,
okay.
So much for that.
Well, you tried.
I did try. The things that we did this past week were, so these guys went to Treats in the Streets on Thursday. That's why they weren't.
Yeah.
Why we recorded early last week. So tell us about Treats in the Streets. How was it? How did it go?
It was rather hectic, I'll tell you that.
There were a lot more people, I think, than there have been in last year's.
Yeah.
And
it was really busy. But I've never really done the event other than just wandering through it.
Well, and to sort of set the scene for you, this is a traffic circle. It's a 2-lane traffic circle with kind of a little tiny park in the middle of it, and it's in Orange, California, which is like the primary city of Orange County, and then it has shops shooting off in all 4 directions, and then all around the curves and whatnot, and so they shut it down to road traffic, and not only, though, did they shut it down to road traffic, they put, tank traps there. So that, if you tried to drive in your car, it would, flip up and trap your car and do this crazy. It was super security mode.
Well, I mean, that's good, because there have been incidents where people have, crashed into
crowds and things. There have, and it was just really funny though, because Orange County is such a quiet, unassuming place, and these just you couldn't get in, and it turned out, because I got there a little bit late, it had there was only one way in, and so I went down the main drag and I couldn't get in there. So I went clockwise, which was apparently the wrong move. If I had gone counterclockwise, I would have gotten right in. I had to go all the way to every single street that could possibly lead into this thing to finally get myself in there. But Jeff had his car on display. I had my car on display. Andy, who has a proper ecto called the Slime Bucket, had her car on display, which was really good. And so many people. It was crazy.
This is true. It was rather busy.
So we had our 3 cars set up. We had tables, lots of candy provided by the event, who I think had it provided to them by Target, which was cool. So they kept bringing us boxes of candy, or we could go get boxes of candy and bring them over. And the kids would line up and you would hand them out. And I noticed that there were a whole bunch of kids who were not getting in line to get candy. They were staying on the outskirts of everything, and I'm like, that's not cool. So I'm like, I started to walk over and hand them candy, and then I thought, I have a much better way to do this. And so I took my RTV, my remote control ghost trap, filled it with candy, and drove it over to them. And that was huge. Once you convinced them that they could take candy out of it, because some kids tried to put candy in it, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
But that was really fun. And in the meantime, Jeff is going to, and so I did something weird. What did you do, Jeff? You did something weird.
I brought Turk, the puppet, with me. I've been taking him to a lot of the Ghostbuster events. And Andy just shoved candy in a piece of candy in his mouth, so I just basically went with it and started like having Turk basically, throw up the candy in a little kid's bags. And yeah, exactly. And the kids thought it was hilarious. Most of the kids thought it was funny, so I just kept that up.
That's really funny. I'm going to look on our
around with them. Yeah.
Ghostbusters United page and see if they posted a picture of us. Let's see. That's the parade. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know if I have one. I can look.
I don't see one either.
Dressed.
I saw one somewhere, but I don't know where they posted it. And I don't think I took a picture. Let's see. This is the Angels.
I know there's pictures. I'm just not sure who has one. Maybe Andy or someone has one.
I looked on Andy's page. I didn't see him either. The last thing she's got is the Strides for Disability walk.
Yeah. Whoops.
But I know I saw one online someplace. It's very strange. So, I don't know. We'll have to find some pictures for you and show you a little bit later. But anyway, we had a really tremendous time, and I think that just all of the craziness that happens around Halloween seems to have worn us out.
Oh yeah. Matt Tillard and Pat Larson are watching on YouTube.
Woo-hoo!
We got Lori and Sam on Facebook.
Yay.
So we got people watching.
Awesome.
So we got some.
Hey, Sam and Lori.
I got to put on my jumpsuit. And then close my door so we don't hear dog barking.
Yes.
Always a good thing.
Hey, give me a minute.
Yeah,
All
you got
right,
it.
so should we hold off on talking about Friday then, or should we start talking about Friday?
No, let's wait till Jeff gets back.
Okay, why don't you talk about your wedding, Sean?
I of course have a lot of Star Wars friends, and one of them is got married this past weekend. Asked me to come out and do a full Star Wars wedding, which was very cool. But it was a little bit remote. It was out at the naval base in Point Magoo, and I think that I think my uncle served there in the Seabees at Point Magoo. It's either Point Magoo or Point Wainimi. I'd have to take a look and see. And I took 0 pictures of this. I was hoping that that Brandon might post some up, but he hasn't done it either. He hasn't done anything with Facebook in a couple of weeks. But it was great. Everybody was dressed as Jedi or Sith, and the bride and the groom looked amazing. And of course, we did a whole sort of Star Wars imbued ceremony, and it was really terrific. And although it made stuff pretty tough because we had 2 events, because I had this wedding, and then we had an event that was in Anaheim. We had a parade to do, and that was a real challenge. So, but I made it back. I couldn't believe it. It was pretty sweet.
Oops, darn it. Yeah.
And
There we
then
go.
you drove like a mad person. Well, not like a mad person. You drove responsibly, but
Probably.
in time to get
Mostly.
to the Anaheim Fall Festival Parade.
I did, and that was pretty amazing. And so we had 2 groups that had the festival, and one of them was our regular Star Car group, and one of them was our Road Squadron group. which merged with we a while back. We ran into a dilemma where we had a lot of Star Wars groups, and we couldn't like name them all off exactly. We didn't want all to be separate entries, so we made up this thing called the Star Wars Charity Alliance. And so when we do this parade, that's how we're billed. And it has the Mando Mercs and the Saber Guild and the 501st and the Rebel Legion, Road Squadron, all those guys kind of under one envelope. And that was terrific because it makes things really easy. And when we don't have a ton of people, as was kind of the case this year, we just look like a bigger mob because we're all together. And I think we have 5 Star Wars cars. We had the Tesla, which was a Fonz. We had
5.
Yeah, we had Jeff. We had me.
You had Sean.
We had Sean, right, who was kind of like a last minute ad.
Yes.
And then we had a new guy named Tim.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was really cool. So yeah, we had a pretty amazing parade showing, and which was fun. And then we went to dinner afterwards,
Tim.
where we ran into the Ghostbusters, which was very kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Sean and I ended up going out to dinner afterwards with the Ghostbusters crew at a place called Smoke? No.
Smoke and Flame?
Fire and
I
Lamber,
actually wrote it
yeah,
down.
something like
Hang
that.
on.
Yeah, something like that.
I wrote it down here under restaurant reviews. Craft by Smoke and Fire.
That's what it was, Smoke and Fire.
Yeah.
So,
And it's on Center Street, downtown Anaheim.
and here I'll show you the
Yeah,
gang.
I've been there once before.
It was pretty cool.
I don't know, Sean, how you wear these things on your head for very long. It's really heavy.
Yeah.
Well, you should take it off if it hurts.
It does hurt.
I mean, what I do is I attach it to a hat.
It's
and-
on a hat and it hurts.
Yeah.
It's just so
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
So these were the guys at Smoke and Fire, all kind of dorking out. And so, of course, the Ghostbusters were in with their own entry, and some of our Road Squadron people rode with the Star Car Central group, mostly Jurassic Park people, which was fun. And so, it was not too bad.
We
I
did
don't
it,
think
we
I
did
took
an
any
event somewhere
pictures.
else, like a ways back, and ended up there with the Ghostbusters. I don't think you weren't with me. I don't think, Sean, but I've been there before. So I think that the owner of the place came out with like little Ghostbuster marshmallows or something.
Oh, how fun!
Can't remember what it was exactly. Yeah.
To give you an idea of
I guess I don't know.
where this wedding was, this was the wedding location, right on the edge of the water.
Hey.
It was Point Magoo,
Nice.
and we were like on the point of
Yeah.
the Magoo, which was pretty funny. And
It's very pretty.
it was gorgeous, and it had this balcony sort of deck thing that we were on, that we did the wedding on, which was crazy. And there's this rock that like everybody knows when you take the Pacific Coast Highway, and it was like just north of that as a landmark, which was really cool. And of course it was on
Nice.
a military base, which was really weird, and a lot of it just like looked like this big open swampy whatever. And I had a hard time finding this house because the house they dropped a pin in the map for me, and it took me to the middle of a lagoon, and I'm like, this is not where I'm officiating a wedding. This is not cool at all. But it was kind of neat to be on the base and check it out. And we used to hang out at this rock when we were in high school and stuff, which was like really cool. Anyway, it was kind of a neat, nice place, and then we had to like hot foot it down the coast again, back through Santa Monica, and then out to the parade. And this is actually the picture I was looking for. The day that I had, I went 175 miles, and spent 6.5 hours in my car.
That's a lot.
Oh boy.
That's a day. Yeah, that is a serious day. So, yeah, it was kind of funny.
So backing up to Friday, now that Jeff is back and we're all met.
Yes.
Friday was
Concert day.
Concert day. Yeah, we went and saw ELO.
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
Colleen and I, despite having been together, 37 years?
37 years?
We have never done
a rock
concert together. I've been to lots of them separately.
Okay.
And Colleen didn't. And so we ended up doing a lot of walking because we had to get to the forum. And
yes.
We got a parking spot, and we got a parking spot like a half hour's walk away from where we were seeing the concert, which was
a long walk.
The Kia Forum. This used to be called the Great Western Forum, and it's gone through a bunch of different things. The Lakers used to play here. I think the Clippers played here for a while, and largely now it's a rock venue. Although they've done a lot of, I think ELO played here in like 1981, back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And whatnot. And so we crossed lots of parking lots, lots of streets, and they had a cool when a band's coming, they do these sort of like gobo welcoming graphics up on the eve of the forum, which is really cool. And we had fun.
Sam says he saw X last week. Is that the name of a band?
Yeah, X was they're a punk band. Best known for a song called Los Angeles. Yeah, which was they're a great band.
Oh,
They're really
okay.
cool. So yeah, these were the big banners that they hung to do what was supposed to be the end of their tour, although they added one last concert in Arizona. It's not exactly the end of their tour, but it's called the Over and Out Tour. They're retiring.
So, Sean went right away. He forgot his
binoculars. Couldn't believe
and so
I did
he couldn't
it.
see. And he went to go see if the forum had any sort of handicapped access available.
Like I could rent binoculars. Would
Yeah,
be nice.
because like if you go see a play, they have assisted listening devices, and sometimes they have visual things. So we thought, might as well try it. He got up and walked away, and like 5 minutes later, Waldo sits next to me in the seat.
Yes.
Sean was on the other side of me, but in the seat to the other side of me.
And I saw him. I saw him walking through the crowd too, which was really funny. And I called out to him, but he didn't hear me.
So he sits down next to me, and I look over and I go, well, I found him, I guess. And he said that he is one of the sound guys on the tour. And he is, they get bored because, they've been doing this since August.
They did like 38 shows or something like that.
And so he dressed up as Waldo, and he goes out and sits somewhere in the crowd. And then he taps his radio button and says, okay, find me. And the sound crew has to look around and find where he's sitting in the stadium.
So here's a picture
Awesome.
from our seats. If you're watching us on video.
Yeah.
And so you can see the stage, which was reasonably far away. And that glowing light in the dead center of the picture is the sound island where they're all the sound guys are. And that's where Waldo usually sits. And
we could see him.
Yeah, it was really
down
funny.
there.
He was down there.
Trying to get through my fall festival pictures to find the picture I have of Waldo.
And so this whole screen that they had was amazing. The center part was a projection screen. There was a light rig around it that like did full disco lights during the show, off and on and crazy. It was nuts.
It was, yeah.
This
So
is
there, I
the
sent-
sound island
Sean, I sent a picture of
Waldo.
Waldo.
Okay,
You found him.
let me see
I did find him. I found
if
him in my
I
pictures.
can find him. Oh, my messenger went away.
Oh,
If I can alter
boo.
this.
That's okay. I will
See,
find him.
edits, edits.
So I sent one
we go.
picture of Waldo sitting next to me, and one where you can see him in the sound location.
Oops.
Oh.
He went away.
There he is.
He went away again.
Cool.
There we
And
go.
Guys
I
is doing this.
Don't know
Come
if I
on.
got his
There
name,
we go.
but he's from Bristol,
Oh, right on.
in England.
Yeah, so there he is, like way down there in the middle of the picture. You can see him,
Yeah.
which is fun. And then, yeah, this was exactly the guy I saw.
I have to tell you guys that Sean was vibrating with excitement over this concert.
I have
So
wanted
that was really fun.
see this for such a long time, and it was one of those things. And like I was excited to see a concert with Colleen, and was excited that Jeff was there because we're both giant ELO fans.
Yeah.
It was really just a terrific night, and there was so much going on. We had an opening band called Rooney, which I'm not terribly familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
I got some really crummy pictures of Rooney. But what was really funny, in the middle of one of their songs, the audience was going berserk. And I'm like, what's going on? What are they doing? I can't figure it out. And then we realized eventually it was the return from the World Series game. Game 1 of the World Series was going on at Dodger Stadium, just a few miles from where we were. People were watching the game on their phone at the rock concert during the opening act. And that was the thing that caused the audience to go absolutely berserk, which was really funny because it sounded like they were playing it through the speakers, and it's like, is that fake audio noise? Are they trying to get us to applaud? What are they doing? Are they that bad? But no, actually, they were really good. It's a fun kind of Beatles-esque music. And do we know where their name came from, Jeff? Because it makes me think of Ferris Bueller every time I think of the name of the band.
I don't. I think it's named after like someone in the band, but I can look it up real quick. Unless someone's faster than me at it, but I'll look it up.
Go for it. I'm just kind of flipping through pictures. I took so many, and they were. I always like double up on my pictures.
I was surprised that because I'm really bad at music. I'm like the opposite of Sean when it comes to music.
And identifying artists and songs.
I can't identify artists. I can't identify songs. I don't know as many songs as he does. And I was surprised that there were only 2 songs that I didn't recognize.
Well, and I figured you would, because like ELO, was so prevalent, and we play so much stuff. Yeah. This is a picture of the entire orchestra. There really was an orchestra there. They had cellos and violins and everything. It was really
the singers were just fabulous.
They were great, and they did an interesting thing where Jeff Lynne stood back. And he took he like took second stage to one of the other singers who would take on some of the songs and stuff like that. So, what'd you find, Jeff?
It was exactly as you thought. So the name is named after Ed Rooney,
yes!
the principal at First Day Off.
That's funny.
And they initially called the band Ed Rooney.
That's awesome.
And then they got rid of Ed.
How fun is that? Chris Marble says we're trying to confuse his week again by pre-recording.
I know. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
But he could actually sit through the entire show now because he doesn't have to leave early.
He's like, now I have to sit through the whole show.
It was so hard to take pictures from where we were that I'm amazed I got anything.
Yeah, it was.
But like, the big video screens, the sound was amazing. This was Evil Woman. It interestingly, the center screen, it looked like they used a lot of AI art in it, and they did some animations and stuff of spaceships flying and that kind of thing, which was really fun. But there's the man himself, Jeff Lynne, and gosh, it was so super cool to be able to see some of this stuff and to hear it live, and especially because I saw them live as a kid, and it was a nice little bookend kind of a thing. I saw Oingo Boingo the same way. They had a lot of lasers and stuff too, which was really cool. Honestly, the only downside of the whole concert, there were 2. One were the people behind us who kept kicking our seats because they were so excited.
Yeah.
And the other one was the dude on the end of the row who kept lighting up weed.
I yelled at him twice.
People outed him, which was hysterical.
Because I was looking around to find out who to yell at, and the people all around him, just like in a circle around him, all pointed at him.
And of course, they played just about every song you could want to hear, except for Mr. Blue Sky, which you knew had to be the encore, right? But the guys behind us are like, Blue Sky, you have to play Blue Sky.
Yeah.
And
it's like a total drunk guy just kept yelling the name.
it was bad. And then one of them was, it might have been the same guy, was even, because he'd looked up the set list, I'm pretty sure. Because he'd lean over to somebody and go, don't you feel like you want to make a phone call now? And she's like,
I think it was a different person.
oh, really?
Yeah, because the people
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about the people in the row right behind us.
Yeah.
And the guy who was yelling was several rows away.
Roast back?
Yeah.
Okay. Because he's like, don't you feel like you want to make a phone call? She's like, no, I'm watching a concert. What do I want to make a phone call for? And then the band will play like telephone line. And he was trying to be
the guy behind us, though, did kick our seat all night.
all
Yeah.
night.
That was
Boo.
super fun times.
But it was,
Yeah, I
it
didn't
was really
experience
fun.
seat kicking, but I did experience the guy yelling "Mr. Blue Sky."
The seat kicker was offset between Sean and I, so he was kicking both of our seats, like one with each foot all night, in what he believed to be the time with the music. I think
The entire band got together, the orchestra, and took a picture with the crowd in the background.
Yeah.
This was really cool. So
Yeah.
I'm really
was
glad we went.
Yeah, I forgot that because I remember back when we went to get tickets, it had said like that the opening band was going to be Rooney, and then proceeded to completely forget that until Friday night when we saw the play.
Right.
But I love Rooney. It's a very, I mean, it reminds me of a few different bands that don't like one or two bands that don't exist anymore, but their style is so similar. At least when they started out,
Yes,
very nostalgic. sounding to me.
reasonably timeless sound, which was pretty good.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind hearing songs from them again. It was less interesting to me because when you go to a concert venue, or at least when I go to a concert venue, I like to hear songs that I already know,
Right.
as opposed to hearing very much that's new, because I usually can't make out the words.
Right.
And there are other distractions.
Gotcha.
When you go to a concert in person. So it's always nice to hear things that you already know, basically.
And you want to sing along and you want to have a good time, and it's know when to clap.
Yeah, for me, I was singing along because I knew it, but I'm sorry that you guys didn't, know the band.
Oh, for Rudy?
Well.
Yeah, that's no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of their choruses, like once they did the chorus, you knew what the rest of the song was going to be. So, there were a couple where I did sing along just because the chorus was repeated. But but for ELO, knowing their stuff really helped a lot, and like knowing where everything was and that kind of thing. The only thing that I didn't see.
Oh yeah, this one.
Right. And it, like on the first note, you're like, yeah, which is like kind of awesome. That's how I operate. I'm like, I feel like I would be pretty good at name that tune, provided they used the original song, as opposed to the thing about name that tune is some guy's like on a piano going ding, and you're like,
yeah.
So
anything.
Colleen and I found our building on the way back to the car.
Yep.
The Crosby building, which was kind of funny. I'm the difficulty of this venue. There are now 3 stadiums in the same area. There's the Great Western Forum. There is SoFi Stadium, and there is the Intuit Dome.
So they can charge a lot for parking.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! And everybody had an event going on that night, and it was just crazy.
It was.
Yeah.
But
chaos.
I got my steps in, so
You sure did.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Especially
then
beforehand.
I forgot that we were parking far away, and I'm like, if I'm going to sit down all night, I need to go for a walk. And Jeff arrived early to avoid traffic, so he came on my walk with me.
Yeah.
And we didn't need to do that.
Right, because
there was plenty of walking.
we had so much space to walk in for the to get to the concert.
But it worked out because I had never I'd never taken that walk before, so it's good.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was nice.
It's neat to see. Colleen
yeah.
walks there a lot, so she enjoys that.
I put two photos that Andy sent me from the event on
great.
Treats in the Streets into our Facebook Messenger. So
Okay.
I don't know if we want to just use one or try to blur out the face on the kid on the second one, or if that really matters. But yeah.
Well, I don't think it really matters. Did you send them already in the?
They're in the messenger right now. Yeah, it's above the ones that Colleen last put. So it's
it
they're
is.
up there.
Oh, I
Let's
see.
scroll back a little.
All right.
Yeah. Well, they did find them.
Oh no, this kid was cool. His parents were really great, and they're like, yes, of course you can take a picture of my son. This kid was amazing.
Yeah.
And and so I saw him with the RTV, and he came over to get candy from the RTV, which he managed to do in his costume, which was impressive. And then I sent him over to you guys to go get candy from you guys, because he had an inflatable ectomobile.
Oh, how cool is
which
that?
was the best. He was so happy to see us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
It was great. You can see Jeff with the puppet. The RTV is behind me. The only person missing is Andy, but Andy...
Andy might have been taking the picture.
Probably. She's in this one.
Yeah, probably in both of them.
Yeah.
There's Andy. Okay, someone else took that one.
I think I took that one. So.
Yeah, so at least we're represented.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And Turk, I found a cat. I had found a little flower hat thing, whatever, costume hat that you put on a cat, and that's what's on Turk with his head.
Let me get to
the shirt is like an eyeball shirt from Build-A-Bear.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't seem to zoom in on this. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it's that was pretty cool.
It's okay.
One of the things that I discovered when I went to clean up my car, which was just a real bummer, is that I had damaged my car.
Yeah.
I hit a traffic cone last Tuesday, and I knocked off part of the gun and did a bunch of stuff. And what was really a bummer is that I discovered that there was a hole punched into my headlight. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to fix that, because headlights on cars now are like $2,000. It is super not cool. So this is what I did. If you look in the middle there, you can see there's a big jagged hole out of it. And in fact, I gave myself what's essentially a paper cut, but with the plastic, really hurts. And then I ripped off part of the bumper at the bottom. That's gone too. And I lost a hubcap, and I lost a gun, part of my gun. It was just a mess. So I fixed enough of it to be presentable for these events that we were doing, but I'm still missing stuff, which is a real bummer.
Yeah.
So
that
was most of the weekend. Sunday I went to my usual every other week of farmers market, followed by going to a dance class. So
okay,
that was a fun weekend. Very busy. Did you do anything on Sunday, Jeff?
Sunday was Owen's Halloween party.
Oh, cool.
And I was hoping I had a photo in my phone, but I don't think I do. I'm gonna have to ask them to send me one. But and everyone, it was supposed to be sort of like a the running theme was plants because of Audrey too.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone dressed as something. I dressed as the closest I could think of as a young Jim Henson, and just brought Turk with me.
Nice.
I was like, I don't know what to do. So,
so then
it was fun.
Cool. Cool. I'm glad it was fun. And then Sean and I went last night, although Sean, did you have anything about Disney this week that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, actually, I kind of did. Bayou Country is what Critter Country is called now. It's like what, the third name change that it's had. It's now considered part of sort of like New Orleans Square that flows into it, and they have redesigned the Splash Mountain area to be Bayou Country. There are a lot of wood carved signs in there, which are pretty cool, and of course they're opening the ride at like every other day, and they're letting Magic Key holders and cast members ride. Somebody invited me today, in fact, to go back and do it, because I tried to ride it twice and it broke down twice. I haven't made it on yet. Our friends made it on last weekend, and they seem to have a pretty good time. Although whatever they did to it, it is now like way too wet. It's like twice as wet as it used to be.
Oh my gosh, I didn't ever go on it because I didn't like how wet it used to be.
Yeah, so it's really bad now, which is nuts. The last time I went on it before they shut it down, I felt like they had turned the water up because we didn't dry off the rest of the day. But yeah, this was bad. So it's pretty cool. They made it look much more swampy. The trees are all sort of dripping and kind of willow style. It's a lot more overgrown than it used to be. They just now added water to the drop. The last couple times they were running it didn't have water down the drop. They just had it at the bottom, which was a little weird. And I feel like that's probably part of why it kept breaking down, is they weren't doing that yet. If you look closely, you can find the frogs from The Princess and the Frog, which was kind of a nice little thing to add into that. And then
that's pretty cool.
The rest of the stuff, the water tower's got Tiana's crown on it, which is kind of cool. And
I know that part of it goes through Mama Odie's at one point.
Yeah, and that was the thing I haven't seen yet, is that they have not really... I didn't make it inside the stuff, which was really, really funny. It was threatening rain, and so all the clouds are very atmospheric, which was super cool. But the details on everything were really kind of fun, which they didn't have lit up or anything yet. Let's see. Our Rivers of America. Here we go. This was Ray's Berets, which doesn't have any berets in it, which is a little weird. And so but it's a hat shop, and of course it's based on Ray the Firefly, and or Lightning.
So they're tiny little berets.
They're tiny little berets. Yeah. This is the attraction sign at the beginning of the line with their you must wait however long sign to the right. But inside Ray's, there's all these great wood carvings. There's little pictures and stuff. He's got Jar Sweet Jar and the jar that he lives in. So there's like a little, almost like a ship in a bottle kind of a deal, but it's the jar he lives in with a little bed and pictures and, all that kind of thing.
Weird.
And he was in love with a star, right? Didn't he fall in love with a star in that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, Evangeline.
Yeah, so he's
Evangeline up in the sky.
He's got a picture of the star, and most of the things in there have some relation to the star, which is really cool. And this is on the mantelpiece. The odd part is a little jar.
I mean, the spoiler part of it is that he died, but
right. Well, for our purposes,
the star itself.
Our purposes here, apparently, he's still going strong. And so, the whole fireplace in there is now like where he lives on the mantle, which is kind of cool. And the artwork is just all completely related to him. But most of the stuff they had in there was pretty basic. I'm hoping they change it up that is more significant. This was a window that seemed to have an animation in it, which was cool. And I should have shot video, but I didn't because I'm a dummy. But Ray kind of bops in, and then he starts like
Yeah.
doing a little signature, and he leaves a little heart behind, and that fades out, and this repeats like
Aw.
every 5 or 10 minutes,
That's cool.
which was really cool. And yeah, it was fun. And of course, big long line with nobody in it yet, and
Yeah.
it opens November 15th officially, but they are letting people on it, which is cool. And a lot of the stuff,
Okay.
like outside, it's all gardening. Inside, it's all cooking. And they've done some pretty neat stuff to it. This being the entrance, all repainted in very bright,
course.
happy, peppy colors from what it used
Yeah.
to be back in the Splash Mountain days. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it'll be great. But from what I hear, it's really wet, which is a real problem. And the other shops have been now
Oh,
renamed Louis Critter Club. So it's
Neat.
which is fun.
Gotcha.
So I had a really good time. I met up with a friend who I hadn't seen in a while, and I recognized her, which was amazing because I don't recognize anybody. And so we spent the whole night kind of hanging out and talking, and it was nice because she's one of those people I know kind of peripherally, and it was nice to actually sit down and talk about real stuff and our theories about Disney and where it's going and what they're doing and all that kind of stuff because she's a huge Disney file. So yeah, it was a nice night that made up for my terrible night the week before where I messed up my car. So it was good, and I still got back at midnight.
But at least you weren't back at midnight in a really foul mood.
Right, that's true. And just to give you
Yeah,
guys
true.
an idea as to like how late I was there, if I can find the picture I'm looking for. Basically, like nobody was there in the park, which was really funny. It was like everybody kind of had bailed out by that point, and I think I even got a shot of the castle with just like one security guard in it. It's like you the kind of thing you have to stay really late for to get, which is amazing. So to get a picture of the castle with no humans in it is like sort of a big deal. So yeah, I was definitely there a little later than I planned, but in a much better way than the week before, which had been, I had lost the contents of my wallet and had to wait till midnight to get that stuff back, and that was just a drag. It was crazy. So it was nice. I'm looking forward to Halloween being over, honestly. But again,
You mean Halloween at Disneyland,
at Disneyland.
or Halloween? Oh.
Halloween at Disneyland, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like,
Okay.
usually there's a massive line in front of this pumpkin. There was nobody, which was really fun. And I think
Gotcha.
I'm ready for it to be done.
I feel like the moving it into August was a pity. I won't say they're wrong in doing it because they're trying to get as much money out of everything as they can. And like as a
This is
company,
true.
I would say, oh, people want more Halloween tickets, we'll sell more Halloween tickets. So like I
Right.
get that. But I really don't like having all of the Halloween stuff out in August. Too soon.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yesterday,
Last night.
Sean and I got a season at the Pantages, and our first ticket was last night. And it was for a play called Kimberly Akimbo, which we knew nothing about.
Which
and
was
we
kinda cool.
enjoyed. And I
Okay.
don't want to say what it was about because I really enjoyed going into it not knowing what it was about.
Yeah, this is the playbill from the night, which was cool. And there were a couple of people in there
cool.
that you kind of like recognized. If you look up their IMDb thing, you're like, oh my gosh, we have seen these people before, which doesn't always happen. But yeah, I don't want to spoil it either because it was such a big surprise that
We literally had no idea.
all I
we're
knew
like,
was
it's
it as
part
a
of
musical.
our season, so we'll go watch this musical. And I guess neither one of us had time to look it up or something. I don't know.
I didn't want to look it up. I was just
Yeah.
like, whatever.
And so it started, and part of it is a visual that from sitting in the affordable seats you can't necessarily pick up on, but they explain the visual very well very quickly. So
Right, because it's kind of like a head scratching sort of moment where you're just like, what?
yeah.
Gosh, I was trying to. Stupid IMDb. I was trying to look something up and have it show me the last few things that I had looked at, because I looked up the main actress whom we saw is Carolee Carmello, and she doesn't have a ton of credits, but she was in The Good Fight and Blue Bloods, and she did Dope Sick, and a whole bunch of like guest shots on a bunch of stuff. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Madam Secretary. She was in Smash because she's a really good singer. And then she goes back to Frasier. But if you remember a show that was on that was called Remember When, it was a show about a Pittsburgh radio station in the 1930s. WENN is the when in question. And she was in like 41 episodes of that back in the day, which was like really cool.
Okay.
And then
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and she was on.
41.
Yeah, she's got this like great career where she's done all sorts of amazing stuff, and so it was, it was a touring show, but no slouch. And then I think the kid, like the main boy who was in it, he was on Broadway in the play, which was neat. In fact, a lot of the people here were on Broadway. And so, like there's a couple of family members. There's an aunt and a dad, and those two actors have been dating for 7 years, and they were both on Broadway.
Oh, wow.
And so a lot of these people like came from the original production on Broadway, which was good. And there were even some like weird special effectsy moments that we were like, huh, who knew? There was like an ice skating rink, which was super cool.
I wanted to go to this Japanese restaurant in Hollywood before we went to the play, and I was hoping that Sean would be able to go to Shake Shack and get a burger. And I could go to the Japanese place and get like Japanese fast food, and we would be able to sit in the courtyard and eat it together. But it turned out that not only did we not have enough time because LA traffic.
Yeah, it was bad.
But the Japanese restaurant turned out to be more of a sit-down place and less of a fast foodie type place. So that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, we had to kind of wolf down our food.
Okay.
Yeah, and we had to wolf down our food at Shake Shack. And I just wanted to know, Jeff, if you've tried the veggie burger at Shake Shack.
I don't. Shake Shack. I don't know if I've ever even eaten a Shake Shack, to be honest.
Their food's just
I
okay,
don't
in
think
my
so.
opinion.
They're burgers, nothing special.
I felt like it tasted okay, the veggie burger, but it didn't feel like it was cooked all the way. Like it fell apart very easily, and when it fell apart, it was all soft. It wasn't crispy. So I may give it one more chance because they've got a mushroom, like they deep fry a mushroom and put that as a burger. But I'm like debating on which one is less healthy, a hamburger or a deep fried portobello mushroom. Because it's, battered and deep fried.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you
the
decide?
fried part, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
But yeah, we had to pretty much wolf it down, eating way faster than I'm comfortable with.
Right.
But the show was good.
It was good. One of the things that was really funny, Colleen had to point this out to me, is there was a sign that went up in Hollywood because West Hollywood does an absolutely huge Halloween carnival, and so there's a thing that says $1,000 fine, silly string prohibited. So no silly string in Hollywood from 12 a.m. October 31st to 12 noon October 1st. It is illegal to possess, use, sell, or distribute silly string in public areas. It's like, man, it's take
weird.
their silly string seriously.
I kind of wonder if somebody just made this poster themselves, because
it's like the
illegal is in quotes.
It's in quotes, but there's a
illegal.
LA City Municipal Code quoted.
Yeah, it's weird. And the $1,000 fine is in quotes too, which is weird. And also, 12 a.m. Oh, I see. 12. They should have said 12:01 a.m.
They should
October 31st.
have.
Okay.
That was
You know what
confusing.
makes it reminds me of like the no ice cream law that they had in Carmel for a little while.
Right.
No ice cream? Why?
Yeah, there was actually a law that they put in because I think people were like they figured tourists were coming and eating like ice cream and just throwing the wrappers and sticks and whatever else on the ground, so they outlawed ice cream. And then like Clint Eastwood became the mayor of Carmel. He's like, okay, one of the first things I'm doing is getting rid of that dang law.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. I gotcha. Section 56.02, silly string, Hollywood division during Halloween. Silly
Wow, that is specific.
Silly string. Oh, it gets worse. Silly string shall mean any putty-like substance that is shot or expelled in the form of string from an aerosol can or other pressurized device, regardless of whether it is sold under the name silly string or any other name. Section 2, Hollywood Division shall mean the area defined by the Los Angeles Police Department as the Hollywood Division, the geographical boundaries of which include, and it goes on to list every street upon which the Hollywood Division borders. And then it says Halloween shall mean the 36-hour period from 12 a.m. on October 31st of each year through 12 p.m. on November 1st of each year. Any violation of this section is a misdemeanor subject to the provision of Los Angeles Municipal Code.
Wow.
Now, interestingly, the next thing says you are not allowed to have something called a hat block. I don't know what that is. It's like,
who knows?
It's like something that blocks people from using the sidewalk.
Oh, okay.
Strange. There's like a whole bunch of things here that are in the same kind of like, you may not do this, you may not do this. It's long, a very convoluted storage, sidewalks, sprinklers, storage of personal property, all of this stuff that you were not allowed to do. But silly string, man, I didn't expect the signs for silly string.
Yeah, exactly. Silly string.
Yeah, it was funny. The set design was pretty basic. It took place in New Jersey, and they kind of had this sort of like house arrangement with neon around the proscenium, which was kind of cool. The set changes were very fairly clever for a touring production.
I thought it was all clever.
Yeah, and so this was
like
the
all of
theater.
the set design and everything.
They did, and like I said, at one point there's a point where they ice skate on the stage, and I don't know if they had wheels in their skates, if they had a fake ice surface down, whatever they did, it was actually pretty good. And so, yeah, we had fun. I love the theater. Jeff and I saw Rogue One in this theater.
Okay.
When we went to see the premiere of Rogue One.
In Kimberly Akimbo is coated in liquid glycerin. When the skating scene is about to happen, the cast lace up their skates and also coat the blades with liquid glycerin.
Oh, well, there you go. Because they wore blade guards most of the time.
And the stage deck is polyglide.
Of course.
See, that's what I thought it was.
They're wearing real ice skates.
Yes. Although the blades looked thicker than normal. Maybe for use on an artificial surface so they don't cut it. Because they seemed kind of wide. They seemed wide enough to actually have wheels inside them, which would was one of the things that made me think of it. But I had binoculars, so I was able to see this.
Oh my gosh, there's a quick TikTok that somebody did called Kimberly Akimbo on stage ice skating tutorial for theater kids.
Nice. That's very cool.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Cool.
was definitely a neat show.
Yeah.
And yeah, going in blind and then coming out of it, feeling like you didn't get ripped off was definitely cool. Because we've seen a bunch of shows where we've been like, man, this sucks. And Kimberly Akimbo is not, it's not attached to anything. It's not a
it's not a well-known story.
rewritten
it's not attached
thing.
to Disney. It's
not. It's like The Bodyguard. They didn't take a movie and turn it into a musical and go, I bet we could make some bucks
Or
off
even
of that.
Hamilton, because that's on a historical figure or a historical event sometimes happens.
Yeah.
While we were doing this, Jeff went to a haunted mansion haunt. Did you talk about that and I missed it, Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Not yet.
Oh, not
Yeah,
yet.
I haven't
Okay,
talked
well,
about it
tell
yet.
us about the haunted mansion haunt.
Okay. Well, it's actually pretty cool what they did. And I can send you pictures.
You
too in a
sent
minute,
you
but,
sent pictures on our chat. I'm going to get them right now.
Yeah. So what it was is it's Trabuco. It's somewhere out in the Trabuco Canyon where this house was. And they did the front yard up a little bit on the one side of the driveway, and the other side of the driveway you see stuff as you come out, and there's an archway they built that has like the haunted mansion plaque on either side of that. They had a line set up in the driveway to get in, because you went in through one of the garage doors open, like the single garage door would open as opposed to the multi.
Oh.
The rest of the garage doors. But they had a sign that's like 45 minutes from this point, haunted mansion, and they did such a great job. They had like tombstones on the side of the driveway that looked so good, like so much like the actual ones from the ones from the actual
Haunted mansion.
the ride, yeah. So, and it was cool because you went in, you get up there, and the host, I guess the lady that's one of the people that owns the house or something, was dressed as one of the hosts that leads you in. So she was in like the haunted mansion maid outfit, and they lead you to there, and then a person in a top hat would come out and he would take you into the garage. I couldn't get any pictures like inside the house because we're just kind of moving and they don't really want you to take pictures, but outside was okay. So that that's actually outside. But when they take you inside, you go into the garage and it does the whole spiel. No windows and no doors and chilling showers, find a way out. And they had a thing, like they had the ceiling, and they obviously couldn't do an elevator, so it's literally on a string or something, and it just kept going up and down overhead. The ceiling was hysterical.
It would be fun if like a neighborhood got together and did that, where they each house had a different part of the
Mansion.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did all this cool work. It was really cool. We went through. You leave the garage, which is like supposed to be the elevator, and then you go through the other area down to the sort of hallway-ish sort of thing into the attic, and the attic would out of the attic would take you out to the graveyard, and then you go back in through another entrance, and then it's another little maze thing, and then you go outside. But they did such a great job with all the props and stuff. I don't think I sent you all of them, but I've sent you a few.
Yeah, I've been flipping through them as you're talking, and lots of tombstones and stuff, and some of the mannequins. And this guy was from Lowe's, I think. Lowe's was selling the headless knight, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. So the thing that I even told the kids about was that when I was younger, in the early '80s, lived over in Huntington Beach, and in our neighborhood was a guy who was an Imagineer. He lived like down, like a few streets down, and every Halloween he would have stuff he'd have like Disneyland stuff basically in his yard for like Haunted Mansion and such. So he had the little blinky guys from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. He'd have Madame Leota in like a tub of water projecting and stuff. So, it was pretty cool to go by his place every Halloween. And,
That's awesome.
I think he moved to like Fullerton or something actually. So I think that's where he's at now. And doing roughly the same thing. Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, and then they took us. We went out and had them take our picture on the as we went out too. So I can find that one if we need to. But yeah, they did a great job.
That's cool.
It was pretty fun. Yeah.
Apparently, Haunted Mansion haunts are really huge this year. I've seen a lot of people do a whole bunch of different ones.
Yeah. And then in our chat, I sent like 2 pictures from the party and then a short and a video clip because it's the only thing I could find where you can see what I look like. So it's like a short video. That's what I found for the Halloween party.
Okay. Let me get to
what the
that.
heck is my phone doing?
Let's see.
But let me. Oh, there we go. Okay. What did I send to that? Come on, phone. Fighting my phone as I'm doing this. But it's okay. Oh yeah, I sent all that too. Okay.
The internet connection seems to be, with Facebook at any rate, seems to be a little sloggy.
Yeah, I imagine so.
But
but it was neat. It took a while for us to get there.
Because
we had to
of traffic,
get on
or?
Chapman and go straight down Chapman. No, it's just a long drive. It was we got on Chapman and took it all the way down, and then turned on one street, another street. We were there, but it was like you go past like Black Star Canyon and stuff going way down. Chapman.
Is this their 12-foot skeleton?
At Owen's house, yeah. So I didn't. They had a bunch of pictures, but it was like I don't know if we wanted to show a bunch of the people that were in there. But there's some of the decor you can see in there. That sparrow in the wings, standing there with a cup.
Cool. I thought the guy with the beard in the corner was actually a severed head decoration. I hate when it does this. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Really?
But they did a lot of really cool
come
decorating and stuff there too. It was just hard to
Well, are we ready to talk about
hard to
Star
find
Wars?
some that don't have people in them.
Yeah, I guess so. I was trying
Although
to.
we skipped the top of the
We
hour.
passed the top of the hour, but that's okay. We'll just remind you.
Yeah.
Remind you that you're listening to Sci-Fi.radio. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
Oof. Ow. It's Jeff Donoho.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
You could be watching us on Twitch or Facebook or YouTube. And the show is DB94. Yay! Yeah, I was trying to play the video that Jeff sent, and it would not.
Oh, okay.
Would not go.
That figures.
Just cause me trouble,
we
baby.
are pre-recording for tomorrow.
Yeah, no worries.
So,
all right.
we ready for Star Wars?
Star Wars, sure.
Sure, Star Wars. No birthdays this week, surprising. So we're going to go through the history part instead.
Weird.
So on October 25th, 2007, that's when Yoda won there was a not a contest, but a thing to
It was
to
like
see
a
which
bracket
stamp would be the
contest,
new
wasn't it?
stamp, and it was Yoda.
Oh, the stamp. Okay.
Yes, the new stamp for Yoda.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had done a
he-
whole bunch of them that you
Yoda
could buy
one.
in a sheet, but they wanted to know which one to release as a single. And I think that's what you voted on,
Yeah.
which single stamp to release.
Yeah. Hey there, Juliana.
Hey, cool.
We have someone new watching. Yeah. And Steve Lee is watching too. There we are.
Yeah, I want to go
Um,
to his ADR workshop, which is what he's asking about in the chat. But
Oh, okay.
I can't do the first one, and I might be able to do the second one because the first one is this weekend, and the next one is the weekend after. It's a 2-part thing, and I don't think
Gotcha.
we have a live performance of a show this weekend that we're doing on Sunday,
okay.
so we actually can't go to his event.
Gotcha. Okay.
But maybe the week after I can. Do the
Let's
second
see
one.
here. Okay. October 26, 2014. That is when Rebels Spark of the Rebellion aired on ABC. And apparently it had Vader in it.
Rebels Spark of the Rebellion. Okay.
Yeah, the basically the movie pilot for Rebels.
Right.
And lastly, October 29th, 1997 was when the Magic of Myth Expo opened at the Smithsonian Natural Aerospace Museum in D.C.
It was a pretty big deal. I will tell you that much for sure. This is interesting. I seem to have the wrong show document open for whatever reason.
Oh.
I think so.
Like last week's is open. I'm like, why is everything marked off?
Oh,
It's very strange.
I don't know.
Well, that would be why.
Yeah, I don't know either.
In other Star Wars news, the Rey Skywalker movie lost its writer, and The Mandalorian and Grogu wraps filming. Hopefully, they come up with a better name.
Yeah,
Woo!
I really hope that's
Yeah,
not
totally.
the name, because it's not very inspirational.
The plot
And to win the
details
Grove.
remain under wraps. Jon Favreau wrote and directed the feature-length movie, and production reportedly wrapped on the project. It's been in
Okay.
production since August. It has 7 months until its release date. Pedro Pascal will reprise his role as the Mandalorian Din Djarin, and Grogu will continue to play Grogu. Sigourney Weaver, who is best known for her work in another popular sci-fi franchise, Alien, has been cast in a mystery role. The Daisy Ridley Ray movie, it was confirmed by Variety that Stephen Knight departed the Star Wars movie that was about Rey Skywalker, supposedly 15 years after Rise of the Skywalker.
Doesn't say why he left, though.
No.
Which he signed onto the project about 1.5 years ago. He replaced Damon Lindelof, who was the guy from Lost, who was originally on board to do it. And rumor is that it's supposed to be Rey's efforts to start a new Jedi Academy. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Variety is reporting that the production probably won't start until well into 2025 because they're looking for writers. And Charmine Obaid-Chinoy, I hope I pronounced that correctly,
Is directing it.
is still going to direct.
Okay.
Yeah, she says that the thing that interests me most is in Rey's journey as a female Jedi. That's how I can best bring my experiences to it. Cue angry fanboys.
Yeah.
But Knight, who's the guy who just left, was working with Cillian Murphy on Peaky Blinders, and did a Maria Callas biography, and has like something else with Disney Plus called 1,000 Blows that's coming. So, I mean, he's been busy, and I don't know if maybe he just left because he's so busy, or he just wasn't very interested in writing the tale. I guess we'll find out later.
So in local Disneyland news, because all of the theme park news is about Disneyland. Well,
Yeah,
actually,
pretty
one
much.
of them is about Disney California Adventure, to be true. The Disneyland Resort sent a survey to people who attended the Oogie Boogie Bash this year to find out what they would like to do next year. And so
Ah.
it seems, according to this survey, that Disneyland is considering a haunted maze.
Well, I mean, you know what Disney has to do, right? It's very
No.
obvious to me.
No.
They need to do a walkthrough of the Witch's Road from
Well,
Agatha
that would
all
be
along.
amazing, but are they doing any other?
Yeah.
Is it all Oogie Boogie or?
Oh no, Oogie Boogie is just an overall name for it.
Oh.
The Boogie Bash. But so like if you went in this year, you would see like Agatha is there.
It said that
Scarlet Witch is there.
that the survey had a list of possibilities, including a haunted maze, stage shows based on Hocus Pocus or The Nightmare Before Christmas, and more Halloween-themed parade, nighttime spectacular, ride overlays, and character appearances. But the haunted
Cool.
maze didn't have any details, apparently, just haunted maze. But
Oh.
that would be really
Maybe
amazing
they could work
to
on
do
lower
that.
prices.
Right. That would be nice.
I'm really enjoying Agatha all along.
The Redwood Creek Challenge Trail
Yeah.
that we've walked through before, Colleen. They have turned that into the Villains Grove, where you like walk through and you meet and greet villains. And
Yeah.
there's lots
Oh,
of
yeah?
fog and stuff, and yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, with how popular Agatha all along is, especially with people who are not Marvel fans. I know a lot of women who are watching it who are not Marvel fans who are really enjoying it. I really feel that's
I'm
the
a
direction
Marvel fan and I enjoy it.
they will go. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone
It's
said
really good.
that after they did the survey, they said it says haunted maze, not scary. Someone wrote on Facebook, I imagine Disney characters pretending to be scary, or even haunted mansion ghosts floating around. Mickey and friends popping up from the shadows saying boo and then giggling. Nothing along the lines of Knott's or Universal Studios.
here's
Yeah. Yeah.
an
Most likely.
interesting thing, which says Disneyland hosts the Ghoul House Haunted Maze one night every year during October as an employee-only after-hours event.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and there's a picture here of somebody like in a really creepy zombie mask all stitched up. And honestly, he kind of looks like Nathan Fillion, but, you know, it's neither here nor there. It says, the Ghoul House maze monsters wear ghastly disguises and deliver jump scares designed to thrill, chill, and terrify, just like their Fright Fest, Scary Farm, and Horror Nights compatriots. But it's for employees, so...
No.
And then
yeah.
moving on to Christmas, Disney Parks blog gave a little bit more detail on their upcoming Christmas at the resort hotels, including 3 new holiday dining experiences. That includes the holiday tea with Santa and Mrs. Claus at the Hearthstone Lounge, the Mickey's Holiday Pajama Party Breakfast and Brunch at Storytellers Cafe.
Hey, they're doing Sunday undies, Disney style.
Right? And Goofy's Kitchen celebrates the holidays. I have to say that the holiday tea is really tempting, but it's probably going to be such a high price that I don't know.
Yeah.
That's always the problem, right?
But tickets for that go on sale tomorrow morning. Tomorrow. It opens on October 31st for reservations, but they don't say what time. And you get some of the Holly highlights include a caprese salad, shrimp salad, prime Holstein tea sandwiches, truffled Christmas egg, and scones. You can enjoy a classic tea, premium tea, or deluxe tea experience. And the deluxe tea includes strawberries and chantilly cream and a glass of champagne.
Oh,
And then you can
okay.
get photos with Santa and Mrs. Claus. And I'd kind of like to go to the pajama party too, because how fun does that sound? But, I probably won't.
Well, and it's I've looked at another thing. It says that DCA is going to have the Festival of Holidays Food Festival back, which I guess they haven't done since pre-COVID.
Ah.
So that
Well, I don't know if I will be able to experience that, as I don't have
the afternoon
magic key anymore.
tea was introduced in 2016. I was trying to find a price for it, but
Well, we'll be able to find out tomorrow.
I guess so.
Yeah. The Storytellers Cafe holiday dinner will not have
Characters.
any characters at it, but it will be
Ah.
open on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So there's that.
All right.
Sweet.
Let's see where we are. Sean, do you want to take the rest in peace section?
I will. We lost Tarzan and Man of Steel actor. Well, not Man of Steel. Man of Bronze, isn't he? Doc Savage, I think, was the Man of Bronze.
Yeah.
But we know him best as Tarzan in the Tarzan television series. And in fact, he replaced Burt Parks as host of the Miss America pageant for a while. But yeah, I remember watching Tarzan when I was a little kid, and that's how we detoxed from the snow. Got warm in front of the TV watching Tarzan, and he got it because the guy who was playing it before him, who was Mike Henry, who was a football player, he got bit in the jaw by a chimp.
Ah,
And then he sued over unsafe working conditions.
Man, that would do it. You know?
yeah. Scary.
It was pretty funny. He's like, he says, they offered it to him. He says, "No way do I want to step into that bear trap. You do Tarzan and you're stamped for life. Was I ever right?" He recalled in a 2013 interview. "But my agent convinced me it was a quality show and was going to work. So on the next Friday, I was on a plane to Brazil to shoot the first episode." That's crazy. Central America and Mexico is where they shot the show. And he did 57 episodes doing his own stunts because they were in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, he was in all sorts of stuff. Super studly guy right up to the end. He was on Father Knows Best and the Aquanauts and Love Boat, Fantasy Island, Wonder Woman, L.A. Law, all sorts of stuff. And the weird Sheena show. Elizabeth Francis passed away at the age of, and I'm not kidding here, 115.
That is many
That's
years
pretty good.
past when you expect to have to finance a life.
She was the oldest living person in the United States at the time of her passing. Her caregiver was her 70-year-old daughter. It was nuts.
I mean, so you expect when you're saving for your retirement, you look at what the average lifespan is, and then you try to add some extra to the end. And my father lived longer than he had planned to.
Right.
And I just can't imagine living to 115. How do you finance that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they call them supercentenarians, who are people who have lasted more than 110 years. And her granddaughter says she would always say, "Treat people like you want to be treated," and that was her motto. And it can't get better than that. So if somebody's going to live to be 115 years old, I want it to be someone like that.
Yeah.
Just saying. She said her secret to longevity in life includes no drinking or smoking, but she ate everything. She says, her granddaughter says, whenever you went to her house, I don't care what day of the week, she was cooking. So I just think that had a lot to do with it too. And then her daughter is 96. It's hard to believe that mom lasted so long. It's like,
my gosh.
it's this family, man. Absolutely crazy. So Elizabeth Francis, hats off, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Although she was only
Nuts.
the third oldest person in the world at the time of her death. Oldest person in the United States, third oldest person in the world.
Whew.
It's all relative. Jack Jones passed away. We mentioned Ron Ely and being in The Love Boat. Jack Jones was the guy who did the theme to The Love Boat. Paul Williams wrote it. Jack Jones sang it. He was in everybody's house every week. He also did Wives and Lovers and Lollipops and Roses and like a whole bunch of other really cool thing. And he did Over the Garden Wall. He did the theme song for that. And was just... wasn't really sure about The Love Boat. Did it anyway. And, of course, it made his career. So, go figure. And then just was it today or was it yesterday? It was very, very soon. We lost Terry Garr.
That was terrible.
Who, of course, was amazing. Terry Garr did not like science fiction, really, because she got burned doing a Star Trek episode that was supposed to be a spin-off of Star Trek. The episode is called Gary 7, and she's kind of a slightly befuddled woman who gets caught up in the whole thing and wasn't supposed to. And she was absolutely adorable in it as well. And it's really funny. So she did Close Encounters, where she did not stand by her crazy husband. Roy. Right. And she did Tootsie, where I think she did stand by her crazy husband, which was kind of nuts. So, it kind of went both ways. But her dad was a vaudeville comedian, and her mother was a rockette. And so she came by her talent naturally. And she was in the road company of West Side Story, doing the tour when she was 16. So jumped right into it. And she lost the audition. She went in, she didn't make it. She came back and re-auditioned in different clothes and got the job. And then also she was in 6 Elvis movies as a dancer in Viva Las Vegas and Clam Bake and a bunch of stuff like that. She was, I think she was in the Batman television series as a background person. She did all sorts of great stuff. And so, yeah, we're definitely going to miss her. And of course, Young Frankenstein, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the one.
That's it. She was adorable and goofy and funny and cool. And yep. So sad to hear of her passing at the age of 79.
Jeff, you ready for the speed round?
Very sad.
Speed round.
Oh, speed.
I didn't tease any stories this week, so we could just talk about anything. I just said Happy Halloween, and that's it.
Yeah. Actually, there was and it's looked on a trailer for a movie coming out. Willem Dafoe is actually the only person I really recognize so far in the trailer. But it's the Legend of Ochi from A24.
Huh.
And it has to do with a small island. Yeah, it's like a small island where where they have a curfew and there's monsters. So it kind of leads you to think it's like The Village, but I think it's similar, but the monsters are real instead of spoiler, aren't in The Village.
Right.
But yeah, this is where a little girl encounters one of them. Oh yeah, Finn Wolfhard's in it too from Stranger Things.
And
she encounters a
Ghostbusters
little
Frozen
baby
Empire
or something and raises it.
Finn Wolfhard also in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So, but it looks really good. A24's been doing a few things that aren't just horror. So and this one looks fun. It's
cool.
Cute. Primate-ish looking creature.
I guess I will talk about the new stuff that Regal Cinemas is putting out for Moana 2.
Okay.
They've got not only a themed popcorn bucket, but also a nacho boat. And
Nacho boat.
yeah, and
This is Nacho boat.
so the popcorn bucket it's you expect popcorn buckets. The nacho boat, I've never heard of anybody doing a themed nacho anything. And it's like Moana's boat. Like
Yeah, it's
the paddle and the
it's
sail
her little
and the whole thing.
catamaran and stuff. This is the boat that's
Yeah.
there. I just love that the chips are so organized. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty
They're
funny.
lined up.
It looks like a bath toy,
I have to say, it's very tempting.
right?
Not that we have any Regal cinemas that close.
No, but I drove all the way down there just to get Tomorrowland pins for us.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
So, I had to go to RPV,
yeah, and
Rancho Palos Verdes.
I saw an article somewhere saying that the girl that played Moana in the first one is in this one as well. But I
Oli E.
I saw
Carvalho.
an article before long ago that's saying that she was recast, but maybe they meant the live action version that they're supposedly
I think
making.
it's the live action version because we talked about a story where she said, "Hey, I wish her well. I hope that she has as much fame from it as I got." But I could totally see where she would want to come back and do the voice.
She is playing.
Oli
Carvalho is playing Moana in Moana 2.
Yeah, Oli E. Carvalho.
And
It's weird.
Dwayne Johnson is coming back. Alan Tudyk is coming back. Rachel House maybe is grandma. I don't know whether she was the same. Tamura Morrison is playing Chef Tui.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yes, her dad. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Hello to Richard and Tiernan. They're watching.
Oh, right on. Hey guys.
Hello.
And Don is too on YouTube.
Hey, Don.
The wave thing that you see in the upper right hand corner, that's the popcorn bucket. It's got a flip top, and they fill it with popcorn.
I'm not as excited about that.
It looks hard to clean.
And to be honest, like I'm excited about the nacho boat, but I would want to buy it to have it and then find someone to gift it to almost immediately because I don't have room for that in my house.
Well, you have a really interesting thing, which is you buy a thing you want, you enjoy it for a while, and then you pass it on.
Yes.
Which is not the average thing.
Well, it's too bad. Because then there wouldn't be as many things.
Does this remind you at all of like the things you would get as a kid for like in your lunch or whatever? And it was like cheese and crackers, little package with cheese in one part and crackers in the other.
It does.
Stick.
It's like a very fancy Lunchable.
Well, I mean, but that's what you get when you go to the theater. You get a little paper boat, not looking like that, just a little paper.
Right.
You know, it's like a paper bowl, but it's a paper boat is what they call it. And they just throw some of the chips in and pour some, what's that stuff called? The fake cheese food.
Velveeta.
Velveeta. Yeah, they just throw some Velveeta on top of it.
Velveeta.
Sean, what do you want to talk about?
Oh, let's see. There's a thing that Ryan Reynolds is doing where he just suited up for another Deadpool mystery project that seems to have reunited him with Leslie Uggams' character, Blind Al. And so he just posted a quick picture going, that was fun today. And then posted a picture of him with Leslie Uggams. Now, Leslie Uggams also recently posted a picture from Ryan Reynolds' birthday party where she went and took her daughter and had a great time. And that was really fun to see that Ryan Reynolds was inviting everybody to his birthday party.
She's actually in the Fallout TV show.
Leslie Uggams is? That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. So, but obviously there's some sort of Christmas thing going on, and but where it ends up,
it's a Christmas special.
What it is, who knows? They haven't said. So, but it sounds fun, and I'm there for Deadpool.
I have to
Yeah.
say that I was a reluctant joiner of the Deadpool fan society, and
It was
I
Dogpool, man. They knew what they were
it was
doing.
Dogpool.
They're like,
Yeah,
how do we get
Yeah,
Colleen?
yeah.
it was Dogpool,
Get
100%.
Dogpool.
I would still
That-
be
that
a
was the whole
Deadpool
plan.
hater if it weren't for Dogpool.
That's pretty
Jeff?
funny.
I'm going to talk about something that they say is a rumor, and it probably is. Because they recently released a bunch of future MCU projects that are coming out, and Blade was not amongst those on the list. The reimagining of Blade with Mahershala Ali playing the character,
Uh-huh.
as opposed to Wesley Snipes, who, if you've seen, it's been enough time. Wesley Snipes appears as Blade in Deadpool 3, but so I wonder if that had anything to do with it. But the I think what was going to happen, they were planning to do this, and I don't know when they were going to do it, but they're planning to do Midnight Suns, which is based on like comics and the games, at some point. And I think that's what the rumor is, that because Blade has been shelved for now, or not shelved but delayed, that that they are going to do Midnight Suns instead, and then just show Blade in that, like introduce Blade in that instead, and then give Blade his own movie. So we shall see. I mean, the Midnight Suns has characters like Werewolf by Night, Elsa Moonstone, Man-Thing, Blade, and Moon Knight, amongst many others that are in that game and such. So, and since they've already introduced Moon Knight and Elsa, and it's there's a good chance they could very well be doing it. It could just be something that they go directly to Disney Plus. It could be, could be nothing at all. It could just be a big fat rumor. We'll see.
Wow.
All right.
As I am
It's like the
always
Dark
all
Avengers.
as I'm always all about food, I will give one more food note here that 150 Denny's will be closing by the end of next year. That is roughly 10% of Denny's restaurants, and some of them will be closing by the end of this year, some of them next year. They're all, the 10% is their lowest performers. Some of them never recovered after the pandemic. And
Oh, yeah.
but it's interesting because in addition to the closing, they also, in this article from NPR, talk about how
Yeah.
Denny's is one of the delivery only brands where there will be a restaurant, and I'm putting that in quotes, that you can go
Okay.
to, like Uber Eats or whatever those other delivery places are that have apps. And
DoorDash.
Okay.
that
yeah,
kind of thing.
DoorDash. That's a popular one. And you can order from a restaurant called Banda Burrito, or the other one is called The Melt. And they are actually Denny's
Funny.
delivering to you as this other restaurant.
Isn't that what got Chuck E. Cheese in
Yeah.
trouble?
Yeah, but now
Yeah.
it's a big thing. It's big business.
Wow.
And-
Chuck E. Cheese had to fall on the sword on behalf of everyone else.
Yeah. But they have a more limited menu, and yeah, the Meltdown looks interesting. I don't know if I'd want a burrito from Denny's though.
It
The
wouldn't
Melt sounds like
Be
something
my
you would
first
get.
choice. But I mean, as Juliana points out, a lot of us just used to live at Denny's, used to hang out there all the
Right.
time. I had a weekly D&D game there at a Denny's that had a bar in
Yeah.
the back. They had a bar in the back by the Van Nuys Airport, which
Yeah.
was crazy.
Oh boy.
But then
Yeah.
we have Denny's like the one down the street here by Mattel, near where Colleen and I used to live and I used to work, that we call, and we did this the other day as we passed it, we call it like the knife attack Denny's, because
Yeah.
we
Oh.
were sitting in there with our friend Chaz, and the cook got attacked by a ex-employee with a knife through the back door. I think, were the
God.
police sitting in there when it happened? Or did they come in,
I-
take care of the thing, and then sit down and have pie?
I don't remember.
I don't
mean,
either.
it was like
It was
we're
weird.
talking like 25 years ago.
It was a long time ago, yeah.
Wow.
But like, I mean, you don't
Yeah.
forget a knife attack at the Denny's
You
you're eating
don't.
at. And they're like,
No.
everybody
and
please stay
the
where you
chef
are.
came out like dripping blood.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
wasn't just like an attempted knife attack. It was actually a knife attack.
Right. The guy came in and grabbed a knife and took out it because, I don't know, whatever
Don't-
happened.
Don't eat the marinara.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't Guy Fieri for sure.
The melts that are served from the meltdown include they include burgers, and they have a classic grilled cheese, which I approve of because it has 3 types of cheese on it. I always find that a grilled cheese is better when you mix up the cheeses. But they have something called a Feelin' Groovy melt, which has bacon and mushrooms and chicken.
Ugh.
A hot mess
Okay.
melt, which has slow roasted beef, caramelized onions, and sharp white cheddar.
Better.
A talkin' turkey melt, and a giddy up melt, which is a
Made out of horse meat.
slow smoked brisket burnt ends, white cheddar, creamy barbecue sauce, and pickles. But they also have 2 breakfast melts and a dessert melt. And the dessert melt is it's cheesecake sandwiched between 2 slices of pound cake and grilled.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
like a cheesecake panini.
Yeah. I cannot imagine ordering a melt for delivery because by the time it gets to you, it's just going to be
It's
a
gonna be
gluey
cold.
mess.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be cold.
I wouldn't.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll work for them, but I mean, certainly everything you mentioned was on brand for a place called Melt.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And then there's the Banda burrito.
Banda
it's-
burrito, like Band of Brothers.
Banda
Oh, okay.
Banda burrito
Well,
has like
that's different.
a handful of burritos. They have chips and queso. They have French fries, fruit, nachos, and a shake.
And a shake.
Yep.
All right.
Sean, what do you want to talk about?
Wow.
Oh golly, let's see here. There's a movie coming out 4th of December, or 4th of December, because it's largely a British movie that's called That Christmas, and it's all animation.
Yeah.
And the guy who is doing it it's his first animated project. He's never done it, but his work. He did 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Notting Hill, Love Actually, Yesterday, the movie Yesterday. And so now he's sort of like turning his eye towards animation, and it has a very sort of Aardman look to it. I'm pretty sure it's computer generated, but the guy doing animation did Love, Death, and Robots and How to Train Your Dragon, and people from
That makes sense then. Yeah.
people from Moana and Frozen are involved. And that, I mean, it could be really great, but it's going to be on Netflix. So if you get Netflix, you're going to get it anyway.
I'll watch this.
Yeah, I'm interested to see a Christmas movie, because usually all the animated stuff takes place in the United States, or all the Santa Claus movies take place in the United States. I'm interested to see one that maybe represents a mildly different culture from what I'm used to, and make it kind of interesting. So it doesn't look too bad, and I think it'll be fun, and it's coming in just over a month.
Well, I think if you want to get a really different culture, though, you're going to have to go with something that is a different language.
Yeah, well, that's why I said slightly different culture. It's like, British is slightly off from American.
Yeah.
To be interesting.
Jeff, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah. I'm going to talk about a mobile game that is actually not going to be available soon. On November 28th, it's going to be no longer available for, I guess, the service where it ends. But but it's Nintendo, and they're making it so that you can actually buy the entirety of the game. It's called Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete. You can buy the thing for $10 right now. I guess when it starts up, which is, it doesn't say when. And there's no in-app purchases because it's the entirety of the game, like all the downloads and everything. but they actually added a few things to it as well, and you could actually transfer stuff. If you had the mobile game originally, you can transfer your current progress to the one that you have. So you don't have to start from the beginning if you've already been playing it. But it says that they have camper cards and customizable game cards or something to go with it. I'm not sure how that works out with QR codes. So, and then you get personal favorite animal pet and stuff, and new locations. So there's a few added bonuses to it that will not be on the game when it ends, and they're putting into this. So it started in like 2017. I played it for a little while, but I haven't, because through switching out phones and whatnot, I haven't really put it back on my phone, because I do play Animal Crossing. I love the on the Switch.
Yeah, that's a good way to play something like that. The game that I've been playing for like 12 years is ending in a month, and I just gave up and I took it off my phone in disgust.
What is it?
It is The Simpsons Tapped Out.
Oh.
And it's one of those world building kind of things. And I was fortunate enough that something happened. The game broke, and it made me rich. So basically, all of the stuff in game I did not have to pay for, and that made the game infinitely interesting, because I could basically have anything I wanted in the game. And so I built Springfield, I built Krusty Land, I did all sorts of cool stuff. It was so much fun. And like every house came with a character, and so like you'd get the Flanders house, and you'd get Flanders, and and it was just so much fun and really cool. But they just announced that they're gonna kill the game, so
bummer.
I could keep playing it till January, or I could just go cold turkey.
Yeah.
And leave it now.
Well.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I want to mention that comingsoon.net, which I think is one of those unreliable places, but I could be wrong.
It's not horrible.
No, they're pretty reliable.
It's not horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter, because there are set photos from Spider Noir.
Oh yeah, that was neat.
It shows not only a photo of it's locked up.
Nick Cage.
Yeah. The article is locked up, but it not only shows the Nick Cage's costume, but it also, about halfway down the page, has a video from set that has some really cool cars in it.
Cool. Well, here's the Spider Noir as we know him from the cartoon.
Yeah.
And then here is this? Oh, here's the animation right here.
Wait, is that it?
So,
no, that's it.
Yeah.
The Spider Noir set video.
Let me.
Yeah.
So there he is on top of the car. And of course, it should all be in black and white, because his whole universe is in black and white.
Yeah. Well, it could be. We don't know. I mean, we're seeing a video.
Right. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. Like those cars.
I think they had a set photo or something, didn't they? Or was there no set? I thought there was a photo, not in a video.
There's probably one down below. I'll take a look real quick. But
it's just like,
I don't think there is.
It is so slow at loading.
Oh, yeah, there might be one, because there's a blank spot where something didn't load. Oh, no, it's an ad.
I just like how he's just like sitting there going, hey, tweet, tweet, tweet.
Yeah.
Sean, what do you got?
Oh, what do I have? I got the fever for the flavor of a Pringle.
Oh, dear.
Well, I mean, if you don't have anything on here, if we're done with the list, we could talk about what's coming up.
That's true. Well, I was just taking a quick look because I had to kind of get back to the thing. There is another Black Panther movie coming, which is kind of interesting. It's called Eyes of Wakanda, and I didn't see
the animated series.
I didn't see the last
I mean, we really should go back and
movie,
watch it.
and we really ought to do it. But yeah, it's
There was like
Well,
a period of a year where we were so burnt out on Marvel stuff, on the MCU.
yeah. And this is it's a limited series that's coming to
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, which is kind of cool. And they have they have a logo, and I will show it to you. But honestly, it's not that impressive. It is just.
I loved Black Panther 1, and I have to say that I liked Black Panther 2 because the trouble I had with Black Panther 2 was it spent so much time, being sad about, him, the character dying and the actor for that matter too. But it was just most of the movie was mourning after that character. So like all the new elements kind of got overshadowed.
They should have moved along quickly, is what I understand. And because I heard that, we didn't go see it. So I don't know.
It's still a good movie. I mean, I love what they did with the Submariner and stuff, but it was just, it got washed out by everything else. So yeah. So hopefully this is a better take, it's a brighter take if they spent enough time and a lot, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. My computer is still bogged down with that other site for Spider Noir.
Sorry.
Yeah. Coming soon is it just
too
lags.
many
I don't know
ads.
why.
Yeah.
Too many ads is the problem. They're really trying to get you with all of these ads.
So why don't we hear about Halloween plans? Is everybody staying at home and handing out candy? Or I know Sean and I are.
I think that's the plan for us.
Yeah.
We're setting up our yard.
Yeah.
This is what our yard looks like right now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun. There's some fine tuning that I need to do, but we added some new stuff. We have a new skeleton who's very proud of his little bride painting over there, which Colleen repainted, which is pretty cool.
Kind of hard to see in the dark, though.
It is.
Yeah.
And then I've got the usual animated, bride stuff going on in the corner. Which is fun.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Not a ton of things have changed.
I don't have any photos of mine yet. It's not quite done yet anyway, but we have a pumpkin patch. We have the tombstones on the side of the house leading up, because our front yard is vastly different than where we are.
Well, you're in a new
so
place.
It's always hard.
Yeah, you're in a new place, so that's tough.
Yeah.
But this is pretty much the whole yard. So animated stuff on the right hand side. We have this new moon thing going on in the back behind our bride. It's like a 24-inch moon light, which is cool. And some new tombstones and tomorrow night. I haven't really made arrangements for fog and stuff tomorrow night.
Ooh.
So I'll have to see how that goes. So last year I bought dry ice, and our good friend and Halloween aficionado, Dave Hogan, had a terrific idea to make our to make the fogger work with ground fog, and it's the first time I've successfully gotten it to work, which was really terrific. So I saved everything from last year. The only thing I don't have is dry ice, and I'm wondering if I can get by with just regular ice, regular bags of ice, or if it's got to be super chilled by dry ice.
I would imagine.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of just filling the cooler with regular ice and then doing it, because the difficulty we have is that it's kind of warm and the fog just completely blows up into the sky. But it laid nicely on the ground last year.
I think that was due to the weather last year.
I think so too. So partially, I think it was a combination of both. So if we have the same kind of weather, we'll be great. If not, we're just going to fill the neighborhood with fog like we did last time.
Yeah.
So
And then what? Let's see.
I mean,
Um,
we have like a street that we go down to that's near us that has a whole bunch of old houses that do really cool stuff. So we're gonna
oh, neat.
do that too. Walk up
Cool.
and down. Yeah.
Um, we used to go after we were done with our Halloween stuff. We would go because the neighbors always had a Halloween party, but they moved. So no more Halloween party at the
Aw.
end of the night for us.
Apparently, though, they're
Ooh.
handing out candy from their old house.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, he painted a
Oh, see,
sign.
there you go.
He painted a sign that says "Haunted House for Sale," and he's putting that up. And so Dustin has an ectomobile, but currently in his driveway is an old Thunderbird. And it looks a lot like the
Yeah.
car, even though it's a different car. It was an Impala in the show, but it looks a lot like the car from Supernatural. It looks like Baby from
Oh, okay.
Supernatural.
Yeah.
And so he was doing some stuff over there today, and I'm like, oh, wait. And I ran into the house, and I got my no ghost magnets that I put on my car, and I stuck them on the side of his car and said, okay, now you have another Ecto. And we'll see. But I think he's probably going to move that car, do something with it. But it's a car he's in the process of restoring. So, but yeah, it'll be really sad that he's not going to really, unless the people he sells the house to really like to decorate for Halloween. I always feel, I look at other people's haunts and like it always makes me feel like I'm phoning it even though it's a lot of work to set up, and it takes days to set everything up. And then I look at it and I'm like, I feel like it just needs more. And I think if our house were more photogenic, I wouldn't feel that way. Our house is like mid-century modern shoebox. It has no real
I mean, we have like
interest.
We have like a flat roof over the garage, so we're probably going to put some stuff up there next time.
See, that would be
next
cool.
year that sits up there, but this year, no.
We have nothing like that.
Too much to do. Oh, no, not enough time.
Right. We did get candy for the kids. I think we had 200 kids last year come in.
Okay.
So it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But so we're just going to stay here and hand out whatever candy we can.
Okay.
While Colleen desperately tries to avoid eating it.
Yeah, I can't have the sugar.
Yeah.
Um.
Did you have something else, Colleen?
No.
Okay. Before we go, I just wanted to give a shout out and a say hey to our friends at Perception Studios, who do a show called Perception Check. You might remember Jeff and I talked about going there and seeing their live show at a theater a couple months back. And it was Dungeons and Dragons with puppets. And what was really interesting, I was thinking recently, because I saw a show, it's either a show or a movie that's coming out that is D&D with puppets. It's like a professional show thing. And I'll have to dig it up and see what's going on with it, because it's like some studio is throwing a whole bunch of money behind it, which is really a bummer. There's a thing called Stuff of Legends, I think might be it, and so it's like it's actors, and then whatever they do with D&D is being recreated by puppets, and it sounds like what our friends have been doing, which is kind of a bummer because they've been doing it for quite a while. But their thing started about a half hour ago. We're probably going to take our Twitch feed and raid over to that, which I leave to Jeff to do because I don't know how to do that. But
I don't know if I have the
clearance
capability
to do it. Well, I'll have to see if I can figure it out, because I think that would be pretty fun.
Okay.
But anyway, they're calling it quits. Do we know why? Did they say why? It's just
I think it's most of it is overhead issues where they've been in a studio for a little while now, and they just can't. The revenue coming in from like Twitch and whatnot isn't enough to cover it. So I think that's the main issue is that. And so I believe they're looking into defining to do the show some like how they used to do it is like before they had a studio space, they actually did it in somebody's garage. So I think they're looking into doing something like that again, so that they don't have the overhead
Okay.
to deal with. But I don't know if it's going to be Perception Studio or what it's going to be called. No idea. I think there's other aspects involved too, but that's the main one.
We should, on a separate note, when you guys are
Yeah.
done with Perception Studio, we should probably mention that Sean and I are going to be performing Old Time Radio on Sunday afternoon at the Lanterman home in La Cañada.
We are.
So it's
Oh, cool.
free. So if you like Old Time Radio and want to hear a spooky show, come on out.
Yeah,
and hear it.
we're repeating the performance
Yeah.
that we did at Collage, which is Arsenic and Old Lace, H.P. Lovecraft, The Statement of Randolph Carter, and Sorry,
Okay.
Wrong Number. It's with a great cast. It's a beautiful location. It's a historic house. We're taking over the ballroom, and it's always fun. So should be really terrific.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's called the Lanterman House.
And
It's in La
then-
Cañada, Flint Ridge.
One last thing is please, 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 please don't forget to vote.
Yep, it's
Next-
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday
Yeah,
is last
get out
day.
It's we won't
Yeah.
tell you who to vote for, but we will
Yeah.
tell you to vote. Don't waste that opportunity.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I've been talking with a lot of people who say, "Oh, well, I'm just going to sit this one out, and my vote doesn't count," because that's not true. And
Oh, boy.
if you want to have any kind of voice at all, you have to vote for who you want. Otherwise, and
Yep.
and honestly, I really feel like this: if you don't vote, you can't complain about what happens in the next 4 years. You can't complain about your local government. You can't
Exactly.
complain about the presidency. You can't complain about anything because you didn't exercise your right. You didn't let your voice be heard. So please go do that. It's
Yep.
it's one of the only means of input we have into how things are run where we live.
Yeah.
And you really gotta give it a shot. So
Yeah.
that's what
So,
I
Sparrow and I
say.
already did ours and dropped them in the ballot thing that you can do at the library near us. So ours are already in. Two of them are
Nice.
Cool.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
We do usually go down and put them in person, and
Yeah.
depending on how we feel. So
Yeah. Yep. Pretty cool.
Right on.
Yeah. And I see you are doing the USS Iowa at Toys for Tots as well. And yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be really
Yeah.
good. So.
And unfortunately, Poe is going to be neutered. So there you go. Hey,
Poor
Poe.
Poe. Oh
So
well.
poor boy's finally getting that happen to him.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if he's really going to notice, really, to be honest.
That's really funny.
Exactly. Yeah. But as for the raid thing, I don't really know how to do that. There should be an option somewhere how to do it.
It is, and it's in the chat, and so I'm actually trying to log in over here on Twitch right
Yeah.
now because it's not showing me the chat like at all. And every time I show up, it's like,
Oh.
"Are you sure
Okay.
you want to opt out?"
Yeah.
What you do is you put /raid and the channel you want to go raid.
Yeah, I could try. I don't know
So
if it'll let me, though.
I don't know,
Oops, that's not the button.
and it's not showing me the chat at all. So I don't know. I don't really know how to
Oops, I can't spell.
do that. Our show is here, but it's not. Usually, it shows me the chat here in Twitch,
Yeah.
and I just.
Do we need to sign off?
We
for the
should.
radio? 'Cause
We
we're
should.
already over.
So let me do that. I am Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
This is Jeff Donoho.
I'm calling Kaylee Crosby.
Have a terrific and a safe Halloween. We will check in with you next week on a proper Thursday. And in the meantime, may the Force be with you.
Oh, where's my phone?